In and out won't go. Rebound. Bearcats have upset the number 5 ranked parent of Whitworth University. Out to Eagle Smith. 2-ball or 3. Given 3. It's stolen away by Watts. He'll take it up and lay it up and down, and Watts extends the lead.
Track Guide, Bearcat Hoop, Where Are They Now series is back. This is our second off season where we're able to conduct about these 20 to 30 minute interviews with former players of the program and get everybody out there, family and friends and fans of our Bearcat Hoop men's basketball program here at Willamette University, updates on where our former players are at, their families, their careers, their lives, and hopefully along the way get some funny stories reminiscent about their time in the Cardinal and Gold. Today, we're bringing you another Where Are They Now with Bearcat Hoop. Bearcat Hoop, Where Are They Now? Season 2 of our interview series where we go back and talk with some of our former players, find out what they're doing with their family, their careers, where they're at in the world, and hopefully get some funny stories or two from them about their time in the Cardinal and Gold. This is Season 2's first interview. It's a great one. I've been looking forward to it since I caught up with him at the state tournament, the 6A tournament up at the Child Center in Portland, and we probably ate too much pizza talking about life and coaching. And we got Cam Mitchell, Bearcat Hoop class of 2010 with us. Cam, how are you?
Good. How are you doing, Coach?
Good, man. Does it seem crazy that you were 10 years ago almost playing basketball at Willamette?
Yeah, it kind of feels, I mean, in a way, yeah, it kind of feels like it's been a while, but really it kind of feels like it's been, a year or two.
Well, and you're a guy you've stayed in shape, and obviously I want to get into your career path both on the court and off the court and what you're doing in the coaching world. But are you still playing?
I picked it back up. I'm playing once a week.
Ooh, where at? Give us details.
At the MAC Club.
So, see, that's a good run.
Scouting report on me, my skills are all there, but, I can barely get up and down the court. You think I didn't play defense in college. You should look me now.
See, the MAC Club, I'm in a shout out to Jeff Rice, class of 1999 here at Willamette. He still runs a backyard 3-on-3, and I'm putting air quotes up on an audio podcast, Pro-Am in the summer, okay?
Oh, wow.
And he's got a bunch of us old Willamette guys, Linfield guys, all kinds of guys, but I finally last year was like, wait a minute. Am I like the 15-year vested veteran out here? Because there was a bunch of kids, like 22, 23, that play at the MAC Club all the time. And all I do is catch and shoot now, Cam. There's no penetration game. It's just catch and hoist.
Yep, you're the old guy.
Yeah,
now.
Right? And they're like, Kip, you don't want to be on that guy. You're going to go match up over here and say help a lot? Okay, guys, I got it. Hey, but, so let's dive in here. Take us back. Take everybody through. What was your playing career after Willamette? Because you're one of the guys in the Bearcat pantheon. Phenomenal career, senior season, all West region, first team all league. If we'd have found some ways to win some more games, definite player of the year numbers for you. Where did you go? I know you got to see the world. Take everybody through the playing portion of your post-Willamette days.
Yeah, I had a pretty unique experience, post-college. I actually started off playing for the Washington Generals, which is the team that plays against Harlem Globetrotters.
Uh-huh.
So I actually spent 10 days, and I was on a bus going throughout the whole country of Mexico and playing in these exhibition games and playing in these huge arenas and, really, really unique experience, obviously, and really fun as well. And then I got my first professional contract in Ireland. And so I headed there, had a pretty good year there, made it to the championship. So I went Ireland one season, then I went to Australia and played for a season, because they're opposite hemispheres, opposite seasons. And then I went to South America. I went to Chile for a year, and then I finished up back with my old team in Australia. So I got 4 seasons of kind of extra hoops in there after college.
So I remember getting a call from the Generals. I don't remember the general manager coach name, but I remember them calling about you. And my biggest concern, and I want you to speak to this, was Cam's pretty competitive, guys. I have no doubt that he can play. I think he's going to be pissed off if you tell him he's got to lose. So take us behind the curtain a little bit. What were you told playing for the Generals?
Yeah, it was kind of like the fact that we were supposed to lose was kind of like an unspoken rule.
Okay.
So the coach acted like he coached us the way any coach would coach a team. You get mad at us if we weren't playing good defense or, coach us regularly. And really the only time they told us, is when they did their skits.
Okay.
They'd have their skits and we'd have to, they'd have the weave, we'd have to run, in unison around their weave. But it was kind of just an unspoken rule that we'd lose all the time. So it was weird. It was a lot of fun, but I was like, I can't do this for too long. This losing's driving me nuts.
So was the pregame, like the pregame meeting, the shoot around, going through those skits, like, hey, follow me to the water bucket?
Yeah, we would do. We'd say, hey, you've been nominated. They're going to he's going to rip your clothes off in the first quarter and you're going to, sprint out of the arena. And yeah, that was the kind of our scouting report. And I guess the best story with that is we were playing in Mexico City and we were in the arena where they play like those, the NBA games.
Yeah.
It's a huge arena, probably 10,000 people. And I was shooting free throws and I missed a free throw. So they stopped the game. They played music and the entire Globetrotters team did a dance, making fun of me around in circles.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was probably
See,
fun.
that's why I did have concerns, because for those of you that remember Cam on the court, I think intensity doesn't do you service, doesn't do you justice. Like, Cam's into it. Like, he's not out there just, hey, we're going to have a big fun time. We're going for wins. So that seems – what was the level of comp before I get to Ireland and Australia? What was the makeup of the Generals? Is it a lot of D3 guys? What was the talent?
Yeah, D2, D3, NAI guys. Good players, though.
Yeah.
I mean, the Globetrotters are really good. People that say, oh, they could jump. And no, they're, unbelievably athletic. But, we play sometimes 2 games in one day. So
Oh,
you think
man.
about, these guys are going out doing windmills all game. And
Yeah.
they're doing that 2 games a day, sometimes, 6-7 days a week. So it's pretty, the athleticism they have was just mind-blowing.
For sure. Was there ever a game where you were like, hey, man, we might pull this one out?
There's a couple where they're just like, all right, now it's the skid time, and then we go down 10 or something. We couldn't come back.
Okay, tell me, I think of people a lot, especially small college basketball, we still get this in recruiting, like, hey, I'm a guy that wants to play overseas. And I think a lot of people just assume, like, oh, yeah, if you ball out, there's just all these spots waiting for you across the pond. What is the process like? How were you able to find a place to continue playing?
Yeah, no, it's really difficult. That's why when a lot of guys, they think it's a lot easier than it is. When in reality, there's so many guys that there's so many guys that want to play overseas, and there's only limited amount of spots. So I, went on a website that had all the listings of every agent that's in the world.
Okay.
So I put together a game film, highlight film, and a resume, and I sent that to, literally we're talking in the hundreds of agencies, and, maybe 2 or 3 got back to me, and then they were able to kind of get me a contract.
Yeah.
But it took a long time, and, I honestly got pretty fortunate just to get my foot in the door, and then, I was pretty successful when I got there, so that kind of helped me get other jobs, but it's really tough, and it's kind of a numbers game, and you got hundreds of people that want 1 or 2 spots.
Right.
So,
Was your league in Ireland and then later on Australia, Chile, did they have limited, hey, you can have 1 American or you can have 2?
It was always between 1 and 2.
Okay.
So yeah, you had to be not only the best, you had to be the best player on the team. You had to be one of the best. It's if you're not one of the best players in the league, then it's well, why are we keeping you around?
Right.
We'll just pick someone else because we're paying you and
Yeah.
you're the American, so we expect you to be head and shoulders.
Yeah. So do you think that's part of the misconception is, hey, there's all these teams and there's 10, 12 roster spots, when really there's 1 for any of you coming from America?
There's 2. At max, there's 3 or 4. So
Yeah.
There's really not many. There's not many open spots, and an interesting story about that is when I realized how hard it was. I was in Australia, and I actually got to train they call it train, that's practice,
Okay.
with one of the top league teams, just like, guys that like play on the national team, played in the Olympics, and I, trained with them for a couple weeks, and they were considering, using one of their import spots, that's what they call them, on myself, but they ended up, Johnny Flynn got cut from the Timberwolves, so they decided to pick him up.
That's awesome. Hey, listen, guys, Johnny Flynn, Cam Mitchell.
Lottery pick and played in the NBA for
Right.
3 years, and that's when you really realize just how difficult it is. Like, these are the guys I'm competing with.
For sure. For you, was talk about the adjustments on the floor and off the floor. Which one of those stops? Because, the cool part for you, I'm sure, and you can speak to this as well, is, you got to play in Europe, you got to play in Australia, you got to play, you got to see the world. Was the adjustments on the court similar in all those stops? Off the court, talk about those things that, I'm in my room at night going, well, this is harder than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, really the hardest thing were the adjustments off the court. I'd never lived on my own.
Yeah.
And so far away from anybody I knew, any friends or family, and that's really difficult. And that's, I think, another thing people underestimate. It's like, it's not easy to, I'm staying in a hotel for 6 months, and the middle of winter, and all my friends are back at home, and my family's at home, and and I'm wishing I was back there, and that was really difficult. And then just, but the positives of that is you're playing basketball full time, so you're not going to class. You don't have to worry about another job, and you just get to work out a ton and get better and work on your game. So that was really, for me, the coolest part about it. And obviously seeing these countries and making these relationships all across the world.
Did you find the game, like the actual, how we're running offensively, defensively, was it drastically different than the Northwest Conference? Was it just because of the FIBA rules? What was that like?
Yeah, I never found it was a huge difference. Some of the big things, and it's like, because you're the American, it's, they referee you a little differently, and they have the pride in their people, so they kind of, they know you're the American, they might call a foul on you, more often. Called traveling a lot more. I think that's what I've learned is us Americans, we travel a lot.
So, the footwork aspect of it?
Footwork aspect, but, not a ton of big rule changes that I thought really affected, like, how I played.
Gotcha. Take me to, there's so much there. We can bring you back for even more discussions about the playing part of it, but take me to the decision, you know what? I got to stop doing this as a job, and I got to go somewhere, a different direction.
Yeah, it was a tough one. It's one I sometimes think about, maybe did I make the right decision? Should I kept playing? But yeah, my second season in Australia, I enjoyed it, but I think my love for the game wasn't at the same level that that I was used to. And, just I think a lot of that was the kind of things I talked about, is a bit of homesickness, and just kind of trying to figure out, hey, this is going to come to an end at some point, and I kind of need to be prepared for the next step, and so that was tough. And there were times, even after I moved back, that I was in contact with teams and kind of almost pulled the trigger to head back.
Yeah.
But overall, I just think I thought it was my time. I really think I got the most out of my career.
Yeah.
Even more than I could have ever dreamed of, and had a ton of great experiences, and made a ton of great friends, and built a lot of relationships.
Yeah.
And I just kind of felt like I was content with my position,
right,
and kind of just ready to move on to a different time in my life.
And so when you did, take everybody through what you did after you hung them up.
Yeah, so I came back, and I actually relocated down to California, just kind of, I was 24, 25 still, so just like, hey, let's go check out, a different part of the country.
Yeah.
Just, I didn't have a job, and I didn't have a place to live, and just kind of made connections and started working and found a place to live, and kind of just really was on my own, in America, I guess, for the first time, and did a lot of did some sales and was just really trying to figure out like what I wanted to do and what I was good at and what I enjoyed doing. And then my second year I ended up just helping out coaching at just a little high school, coaching the freshman team. And, not really too interested in coaching. It was more just, hey, I'll do it for something fun on the side. And, and really like just fell in love with it and really loved being around the kids and being back around the game. And that's kind of how I got to the career path that that I'm in at the moment.
And so then, that's it's funny. Did you ever have, like, when you were at Grant High School, when you were here with us, when you were working camps, was it more like, no, I'm working the camp because I want to work out tonight and hang out with my teammates? Or did you have any of those aha moments while at camp, like I could see myself coaching later on?
Not really, to be honest. I just like to be around the guys and being around the program and working out. And I was so focused on, being a better player and make my team better that I had never had really thought about coaching, to be honest. Even when I stopped playing, I didn't really think it was like, that's my next step. I got to go coach. It just kind of happened organically.
So take us through now, because you've been at multiple levels in your young coaching career, JUCO, D3. I mean, take us through kind of your path now. You pick coaching. How did you end up being the head guy where you're at?
Yeah, so after I coached at that high school for 2 years down in Oakland, I actually talked to former Bearcat Hooper Mike Plank, who was at the University of San Francisco at the time, coaching with them. And I said, I'm really enjoying this, would love to, coach in college. I have no clue, like, how this works. What should I do, pretty much. And he said, hey, okay, you need to get hooked up with City College of San Francisco. It's a junior college in California. It's the best junior college in the state. They send, 5 to 7 guys Division I each year. There's tons of coaches around there. So anyway, I said, okay, great. So he set it up. I met with the guy, with Coach LeBlanc, and he was like, yeah, we don't really, have any spots, but I'd be more than willing to, like, help you, get some other spots around the state. But I wasn't really interested in just coaching at just any junior college. I really wanted to coach at one that, sent guys to 4-year schools. And so anyway, I said, okay, cool. I just said, hey, is it all right if I just come and watch practice? And I want to kind of see what you guys do. And so I just, started sitting in, coming from work. I would take the train out and just sitting in on practice.
Wow.
And a couple weeks later, he needed me for, like, a drill or something. And I, just hopped out of my chair and started, passing or, setting screens. I forgot even what it was. But then just, kept coming for a long time. To the point he said, he trusted me. He knew I, wasn't just doing this, for fun. Like, I really wanted to do this.
Yeah.
So he, gave me a spot on the coaching staff.
Wow. Do you think that was like a test he set up? I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah,
you just kept showing up.
Yeah, I think, with coaches like that, I think it probably has a lot of young guys like myself that, that want to coach D1 and they know that's their best chance. And I think he was kind of just, he didn't have trust in me until I showed him that I, was serious and I'm on time. Little things that, and little things that are big things. Being on time, being persistent, showing up every day, and not, having a good attitude. And I think that's kind of what built that trust.
Because you checked all these boxes for no pay. And you kept, I'm trying to think what I would do to, a person like you, like, hey, man, get the hell out of here. Or, holy cow, this guy really wants it. Like, he's here every single day. Once in a while, I let him shake balls. And that's a pretty impressive, origin story.
Yeah.
So keep going.
Yep, so then after the year, obviously it was a volunteer, job, so he's trying to help me get jobs and had a couple offers, and funny enough, I ended up at Whitworth University. Never in a million years thought I would have been up there against my school. At the time, it just was he offered me a, paying position, and, I've heard really good things about him as a coach and person, and it was really, really good experience for me, just learning. I mean, I learned so much from Coach Logie, and really tried to soak up everything I could, and spent the year there. And to be honest, after the year, I decided I was going to come home. I was a little unsure if just talking to some people in college who just hearing about how the struggles, the challenges of getting jobs, and I was kind of unsure if that was something I wanted to keep doing. I loved coaching, but I thought, hey, I'll just kind of coach on the side, and it'll be, just something I do for fun. But then when I moved home, the Clackamas High School, which is a, really big, has a really good athletic program, high school around where I live, a couple miles from where I live, had a coaching opening, and really had no idea if I would, had enough experience, to even get an interview, but I just threw my name in the hat and got fortunate enough to get an interview, and then got the job, and here I am just finishing up my second year with the team.
Do you take me through the interview process? Was that the real formal interview you've had? Did you have a formal one with Whitworth? How was the coaching interviews? Because, people always associate, I'm not sure they associate coaches with having to sit down and answer questions, and it's more like, oh, you knew that person and then you got the job. But at our levels, there's interviews.
Yeah, no. I had to, Coach Logie put me through an interview, and he reached out to all of my references.
Yeah.
And, I got good references from you guys, and that really helped me. But, yeah, the high school interview was so much different because it was a lot less about, obviously like recruiting and X's and O's, things like that you get at the college level. More about team management, parents, how do you help kids become better people?
Yeah.
There was nothing about basketball in my interview at college.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing? And I think a lot of people, that's probably us, not just basketball coaches, but coaches in general, the job they see us do during the games is 6% of our day. The timeouts and drawing X's and O's, that's very little. You're meeting with kids, you got freshman parents and JV, and it's a funny part of the gig that I think a lot of people just gloss over.
Yeah, no, I'm a manager, right? I'm
a
CEO of a small organization, and I have 4 teams that I have to make sure there's coaches, there's uniforms, there's schedules, there's, the parents. It's almost 50 kids total. And,
right.
And that just, that alone and your organizational skills and, time management is almost more important than your basketball knowledge at that level.
Right. That's a great segue. What was your major at Willamette?
I was a history major.
History major. Okay, tell us out there, how do you use it? What at Willamette? Was it the stuff in the class? Was it life skills? What from the university do you still find yourself using? I'm business economics, so it's not like I'm doing supply and demand graphs, but there's plenty that Willamette taught me that I do use. It's just not the nuts and bolts, so to speak, of those classes.
Yeah, I think for the humanities, like history or English, the obvious things are made me a lot better of a reader and a writer.
Mm-hmm.
These are huge skills that obviously you have to use in everyday life. But also just, it got me to think a little, I don't know, maybe worldly is the term, but I really liked the point, a lot of professors, sometimes taught not always from the winner's point of view.
Yeah.
And different, different points of view in history, and I kind of used that and started and that kind of my education at Willamette has helped me, got me interested in, community service work and volunteering and working with young people, and so I think that, along with obviously the reading and writing skills, and were kind of the 2 biggest takeaways I had, from strictly my education at Willamette.
What does Coach Cam take from player Cam in his day-to-day? Is there aspects of the player that still show up? Obviously, oh, hey, I'll show you guys this move, but are there other aspects that you think come out in you as the coach?
Oh, my intensity. You know? And what I get kind of annoyed at with coaches is like a lot of them seem to only show passion and excitement and intensity when they're angry.
Yeah.
You know, like there's always like the coach, they hit the three. I'm not scared to like. I'm on the sideline. I'm not scared to like give a big fist pump and a yell. You know.
Yeah.
Like I just like not a tip dunk. You know, like one of my players hits a three. I'm not scared to give them a big high five on the way down.
Yeah.
And try to pump up the crowd, pump up my team. So I'd say just the intensity. It's pretty obvious.
Yes. And I think one of the fun things for those of us that have been able to see you coach, that, you know, those of us that were coaching or your teammates, is that exactly what you mentioned, that the passion you played with is palpable with how you coach. And I think that's important. Like sometimes we can get too involved with ourselves as coaches and think the show's about us, but you're out there living and dying with the kids. I think that's very easy for them to see, you know, like, hey, coach is in this with us. And that's been fun for me to see with your teams as they've progressed over the years. Like Cam's teams are going to play freaking hard. And because that's what's important to him. It's important to him that they play with passion. And that's what comes out of the team. And that's been fun for me to see.
Yeah, the biggest compliment I could get as a coach is, and it's probably similar to you, is your team, man, you guys play hard.
Yep.
Man, you guys are intense. That's no better compliment than that.
For you going forward, is it high school and you know your goals are right now because you've got so much to do at Clackamas? Do you see yourself jumping back into the college game? What's 5 years from now, Cam Mitchell, the coach and the career?
Yeah, that's something I think, obviously we talked about at the pizza place and I'm going back and forth with. But, right now I want to stick it out for a few years at least with Clackamas.
Mm-hmm.
And, but yeah, like if I could coach full time, I mean, that would be, I really enjoy it. It's a little tough having another job on top of it. I kind of wish I could devote a little more time to it.
Stupid economics of life. Oh, that sucks.
I know. So, I would like, that's my goal, to be able to be a, full-time coach, whether that be like an AD/coach role in high school, or would that be an assistant or a college head coach role. I'd like to continue to coach, wherever that level may be.
Hey, last question before we let you go. We try to hit everybody with this on the where are they now, Bearcat Hoop. Is there something, and you're unique because you only had 1 year of having to listen to me yell and scream, but you had 3 years of GJ. Have you ever caught yourself using either his or one of my catchphrases? And you're like, oh my God. Because I catch myself, I'll drop a Gordy, don't get ready to be ready. You're like, oh, that's such a GJ, Kip. Knock it off. Do you catch yourself? Is it somebody you coached with before? What do you got?
So, like I got a kid, he's not a shooter, he shoots a three.
Yeah.
That's not us.
That's a go-to. That's not us. That's such a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I use that quite a bit.
Oh, that is awesome. Hey, Cam Mitchell, class 2010, Bearcat Hoop, head coach, Clackamas High School boys basketball. Thanks for being on the pod, man.
Yeah, thanks a lot for having me. It was fun.
Drive and dribble, one. Double clutches, left side Barber for three. Here's Sutton. Great move to the hoop. Spun, and he just schooled his defender.